We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Yeah, you got me? You got my levels and all that jazz?
I hope so, because I just hit record, so...
Oh, you did. I see
Yep.
that now. Hey, I found my little
Mhm.
notebook.
What's in your little notebook?
It's just the thing I jot down the title ideas and stuff when I couldn't find it earlier.
Yeah, I had two notebooks, one for this and then one for D&D, and I kept just using the D&D one for everything.
Yeah.
So now I just pulled the correct one back out.
See,
I was using this for something at one point. All right, whatever.
You're still using it for, well, so that's the one
yeah.
you were going to, but you haven't been using it, right?
I used it initially, and then I stopped because the other one was just out all the time, so I just started writing everything in that one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah.
Yours looks full size.
But-
Mine is a tiny.
Yeah.
It's like a
Mine
quarter
is,
notebook.
It's college ruled.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. It's mead, so it's quality.
Oh yeah, college rule. That's where the spaces are. The lines are closer together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm an adult.
You have to write more to fill a page as a college student and above.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you can write smaller when you get older. Like when you're young, all you do is like you hold it like you're going to stab somebody. You hold your writing utensil like you're about to stab somebody, and it's normally a crayon.
It's kind of like your spirographing.
And your letters are normally 1 to 2 inches tall.
Yeah, and that carries through all the way up until you're 18, and then once you graduate high school and you go to college, then your style changes completely.
Yeah,
you have a more refined style of holding the utensil. You use a much finer point device like a sharpened pencil or pen, and your letter
be able to handle
sizing is reduced
earlier on. But
yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it's sort of natural progression. For most humans,
those like junior high and high school notebooks are always just like 2 lines per page.
Yeah, it's 2. Okay,
you write so big, you can only get like 5 words per page.
I know, it's ridiculous. You think
they're great for making short lists.
Yeah, you think they would make thicker notebooks for that time period, but the number of pages is the same.
Yeah,
so you have to buy
a lot more notebooks. That's why, in high school and stuff, you always have to carry like a backpack or a book bag. But like in college, you don't really do that.
No, you have a couple.
You have a briefcase.
You have a brief. Well, I think a popular in college are those shoulder bags or whatever.
Oh yeah, the messenger bags.
Yeah, messenger bags. Yeah, very very big in college. Yeah. I think I used to have one of those.
I have one right behind me.
I don't think I ever delivered a message via that bag.
Yeah. I mean, I think that feels like it's kind of a like dead service now.
Delivering messages.
Yeah. Like there's so many jobless carrier pigeons out there.
No one's talking about the unemployment rate in that market.
Yeah.
In that demographic.
Unemployment rate of messenger pigeons.
Yeah. Carrier pigeons, falcons.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff.
It's just, I drive around the city and I see the soup lines.
They make huge claims. There's big talks in this country about how we don't care about the elderly, we don't take care of our veterans, and we don't take care of the homeless. No one's talking about the pigeon, the out-of-work birds.
Right. Just, living in the underpasses and...
Oh, I see them everywhere.
Yeah.
I got
all over the place.
My alley,
just
there's a huge...
for scraps.
Yeah, there's a huge flock of pigeons that lands on the power lines above my alley every day.
Right.
Yeah. They got nowhere to go.
Waiting for work. Just looking for, hello and welcome to High School Famous podcast. The podcast.
Done. The podcast.
Yeah. Boom.
Because
High School Famous, the podcast.
The podcast, because we could distinguish it, and eventually, if we decide to branch out and use the High School Famous brand on some other things, we want to make sure that it's known.
The movie.
Yeah, High School Famous, the made-for-TV movie.
High School Famous, the autobiography.
High School Famous, the fan fiction
Yeah, do
work.
that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anybody want to write some fan fiction?
I don't know what people would write.
High School Famous, the beverage.
Some kind of fan fiction.
Yeah, I don't know. It would just be like the fan. It would just be something where we're actually popular.
Yeah, or it'd be like most things where it's like, or it'd be like most things where you and I are in some sort of romantic relationship.
Right. And we're talking about fiction. We want some fiction.
Right. We don't want any of the romantic things borrowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be borrowing too much from the real,
the romantic
real world here.
Is too nonfiction. So let's go fiction on this.
Use your imagination, people.
Yeah. So I'm Matt.
I am Sean still.
There he is. Yeah, perfect. And we're gonna do something a little different today, as in something we haven't done for a couple weeks. Sean, we have more funny stories to get through.
I know I feel like this is never gonna end. So yeah, we took
there's 24 stories left. There's 24 left. If we just burn through them,
steamroll
2 or 3 episodes at most.
Yeah, if we just steamroll through it. Yeah, we took ourselves a whopping 2-week hiatus from this thing to do other things, and now we're back.
We had our guest on a couple weeks ago. Then we last week we were in person. We're not going to read to each other in person and not be tucked into a bed. It's the only way we do it when we're in person. One of us has to be tucked in. Usually it's me tucked in, but also reading the story. It's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to feel constricted, so I like to have the covers a little loose and messy.
Yeah.
But so here's another thing for you fan fiction writers. Don't throw any of this in there because this is not.
Yeah.
It's too close. It's too close to the vest.
Yeah, it's just spot
too close
to
reality.
So.
Yeah, Matt is the one who's tucked in very tightly.
Normally.
And he's the one reading to me short stories, and I'm the one that falls asleep gently and sweetly while he's doing so.
Well, yeah, because it'd be weird if you were falling asleep while reading the story.
I've done that. I'm not past doing that. There have been many occasions reading to my son where I'm dozing off in the middle of the page. You're the one that
falls asleep?
Yeah.
And he's wide awake still?
And then I started rambling off.
Like, God, now I got to finish it.
Then I started rambling off words that aren't in the story. Like,
did you ever catch on?
Oh, yeah. Like it's blatant. So
start listing like a grocery list.
Well, I'm pretty sure I dropped the F-bomb a couple times, like just out of nowhere, like falling asleep, reading a story to him. And I don't know why, but it's a mess.
Like, and this is my least favorite fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
What, Leo? What?
Huh? No, no. Greeting to you is great.
Love you. Yeah, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me 10 years ago. You're the best thing that happened to me 10 years ago. Be a fun way to describe
a little
children
twist
in your
there.
life.
Yeah,
like you're the best thing that ever happened to me when you were born.
You're only focused on the moment, the day they were born.
Yeah.
After that,
I mean, since then, so many great things have happened.
Yeah, you've just kind of been, playing it safe. Nothing's really stood out.
You're like, being your father is easily in the top 10 things that I love the most.
When's your next milestone? Okay, you got a couple of years until that hits. So, I mean, maybe I'll reassess then. But
so until then, leave me alone.
Yeah, from now until you hit teenager, I don't think there's really anything to talk about, or there will be. So you'll just kind of be there.
Just let me know when you graduate.
Yeah.
All right, so Sean, let's just jump into some of these stories. I mean, people are obviously clamoring to hear more of these stories, of the internet's funniest stories that'll guarantee to make you laugh in like 60 seconds or less.
We may go as far as to say they're chomping at the bit.
Yeah. For all of our horse listeners out there.
Yeah, their bits are being chomped at.
Yeah.
Is that a horse thing?
All right. Yeah.
Oh.
You put a bit in a horse's mouth.
What's a bit?
It has to do with I think it's like a piece of metal that's on the reins or the harness that goes over their face that the reins are attached to. And that's a bit. Yeah. So if they're biting on that, it's chomping at the bit. It means they're like raring and ready to go. I don't know.
I think it would mean like, get me out of this thing. Like, I'm sick of this thing being in my mouth.
Well, that's not what the saying "chomping at the bit" means, though.
I know, but why are they insinuating that the horse having that thing shoved in his mouth? Like, oh, if he's chewing in that thing we shoved in his mouth, he must just be all ready to have a good time. He can't wait to do what's next. The horse can't wait to do what we're going to make it.
Assume that the horses like that thing in their mouth. I don't know if they like rub, like just cover it in peanut butter or something. I don't know.
That, I mean, I would like that. I wouldn't mind. I'd be willing to chomp on a bit if it was covered in peanut butter.
All right. So anybody who does fan fiction, you can definitely write that of Sean having a bit and reins and a saddle.
And I will let you know if that changes.
Right. Because then, if it happens for real, then it can't. But all right. The first story is called
let's do it.
Panic at the Pothole.
Oh, my.
Yeah. It's a play on the band Panic at the Disco.
Is Panic at the Disco a play on anything, you think? Or is it just straight up a unique band name?
I think at one point I had heard what the point or what the reasoning behind that name was, but I don't remember now. I dumped it for other useless information.
Yeah. I mean, it could be just the literal people are panicking at a disco hall.
Yeah.
You know, I thought of a cool, I think it's cool, a band name or some sort of name like that. Would you like to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I
would love to.
It could be kind of a head scratcher if you want to really think about it. It's called Pretend Cannibals.
Okay.
Like
the name of the band is Pretend Cannibals.
Yes. Pretend Cannibals. So the question that could be asked is, how do you go about pretending to be a cannibal? How far do you take it?
Yeah. I guess if somebody, I'd get it. It would get bad if somebody's like, "Well, I need you to prove that you're a cannibal."
Yeah. Like if you're going undercover.
Yeah, you're going undercover in a crazy cannibal ring. In the cannibal cartel. You're trying to take down the head cannibal.
The Don.
He's been slinging cannibal product out on the streets.
Let's bail on this, Matt. You're not.
All right. So let's go here. This story starts off a little bit like a fairy tale.
Oh, I see.
So nobody actually ever starts an actual story. Like if I'm going to tell you a real story about my life, I would never say this first sentence to you. But once upon a time, I had a friend that was going to a panic.
Keep going.
Oh, yep. So going to a Panic at the Disco concert. Yep. Okay. See, the exclamation point threw me off. The fact that the rest of it started on another line. All right.
It was perfectly placed. It was perfectly placed to stumble somebody.
Once upon a time, I had a friend that was going to a Panic at the Disco concert, and she promised me she would FaceTime me so I could watch with her. So she messaged me at like the middle of the night, telling me to answer her FaceTime, FaceTime call. But I was at my neighbor's house, which also happened to be my cousin's house. Then just say that.
A very, very useful.
Like, crazy coincidence.
Yeah, useful detail.
Right. You could have just been like, I was at my cousin's house who happened to live next door. Or I'm curious as to if any of this is even important at all.
Probably not.
So I started running out the door, and my sister followed behind me and was chasing after me. She asked me where I was going, so I started running as fast as I could, screaming. What? That just, to me, is like, oh, my sister's asking where I'm going, and I'm just like, and just running away from her. Like, anytime my sister asks me where I'm going, I just start screaming. I don't answer her.
Running and screaming. This suggests to me that these girls are not, I guess I shouldn't assume they're both girls.
We're assuming, yeah.
But anyway, they're not old enough to be out on their own because she's with her sister and they're at their cousin's house.
Yeah. So she started running as fast as she could, screaming, "We have to get home. I'm not going to make it. I need to see. Why can't I see?" Keep in mind that it's like midnight right about now, but I'm running, and halfway through screaming, I stepped inside a pothole in my neighbor's lawn and completely fell in mud, but I got right back up and kept running, muddy as hell, trying to get to my house while my sister was dying from laughter behind me. Well, I'd be more concerned about my sister who's dying.
Yeah. Is it a pothole if it's in your lawn? I thought potholes were in the road.
No, I don't know. More like a golf. I would call it a golfer hole, even if it's not necessarily an actual golfer hole.
Yeah. They didn't feel it necessary to point out that it was also that also happened to be their cousin's lawn. This time
maybe they're
different lawn.
Maybe they're I mean, just because their cousins happens to be their neighbor, it didn't say like my next door neighbor, so they might have ran through a couple of yards.
Yeah.
That's not even the sad part. The sad part is my friend's phone died. So I just sat there with mud all over me at the dining room table, staring at my blank phone, just waiting. I waited for almost 2 hours. You're an idiot. Refusing to take a shower, even though the mud was starting to dry up. This was 2 years ago, and to this day, every time my sister sees a pothole, she starts dying from laughter. I doubt that.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't have even been that funny anyways.
Right. So here's what's
2
weird.
hours, you moron.
Yeah. How often are you at a concert and you like step out to charge your phone, right?
Well, no, they didn't. Who said that?
They don't, but the friend who's at the concert, their phone died, right?
Right.
So if you're at the concert and you were planning on FaceTiming someone to let them watch the concert and your phone died while you're at the concert, are you going to like somehow charge your phone at the concert?
No.
So why
I'm
this person
wait?
As
to why that's even coming up?
Well, why'd this person wait for almost 2 hours, refusing to take a shower, staring at their phone?
Well, so to me, it seems like they didn't know that their friend's phone had died at that point. Probably they just were waiting for their friend to FaceTime them.
Yeah.
And also, why are you going to be staring at a blank phone? I mean, you're still going to like.
Well, you're waiting. If I was waiting for
something, I'd be like, if I was like intently waiting for somebody to message me, I'd be constantly checking my phone.
Yeah.
Like, did I miss a notification? Did I? Blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't just be staring at a black screen. Just
you're waiting for it to light up with a notification of some kind.
I'm waiting for my entire life to light up.
Okay.
But either way,
no one else is, Matt. You're the only one.
I know. Everybody already feels it's so bright. But you know, the mud was starting to dry. I mean, after 2 hours, that mud was starting to dry.
If you make your friend promise to FaceTime you during a concert, wouldn't you make yourself, completely available during that time of the concert to be able to take a call and not have to run out from where you are?
It sounds like at the beginning, it sounded like she couldn't, or this person, I keep assuming she, the only thing we definitely know is there's a sister.
And the friend of the concert is a she.
Yeah, I don't understand why she couldn't answer the FaceTime at the neighbor's / cousin's house.
I don't know that either.
I wonder if maybe she doesn't have any data on her phone and she had to get back to her Wi-Fi because her cousin doesn't allow her to use their Wi-Fi.
Sure, that could be. Or they don't have Wi-Fi at all.
Can't afford Wi-Fi. But then again, you should have known that pretty early on. Like if there was a reason you could not do it, because it's like immediately she messaged me in the middle of the night telling me, but I was at my neighbor's house, so I had to start running home. So it's like you knew immediately you're at your neighbor cousin's house, so you can't answer this thing, and you're expecting this. And also, I'm sorry, there's not going to be a Panic at the Disco concert that's happening in the middle of the night. Unless your friend is in a different state. So it's the middle of the night for you. Like you're New York time, they're California time.
So if it's midnight, I mean, shows can run.
I mean, what do you consider the middle of the night? I guess, what do you consider the middle of the night?
Well, they said, keep in mind that it's like midnight right about now. Okay, and they're running outside.
Right.
So the call happened right around midnight.
So the call happens right around midnight. That's when the concert's going on. You wait 2 hours. So it's now 2 a.m, and you're still expecting a FaceTime call from a Panic at the Disco concert. You expect this Panic at the Disco concert to have been going for the last 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
And to still be getting a call. Like, even if you got a call at 2 a.m., the concert's done, or they're going to be playing their last song, and they did a ridiculously long set.
Right.
And I don't know if they have enough songs for that.
I don't see a Panic at the Disco song going more than 2 hours.
Song or concert?
Oh, did I say song?
You said song.
A concert, I meant. Yeah,
I mean, they have that 1 hour and a half long song, but
yeah, but they rarely play that one.
Right.
Usually that's their opener, and they make people tired of them before they're done with it. So no one wants to stick around for the rest of the show.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm against calling a hole that's in someone's yard a pothole.
Right.
Because I'm always associating that with a hole that's in the road. So I don't know what constitutes
a hole you keep pots in. Like I keep all my cooking
That
pots
could
in a
be,
hole.
yeah. That's completely.
But then you'd think you would know where that hole was, so you wouldn't have tripped in it.
But it's not your yard. It's just a random neighbor's yard.
Oh yeah, it was the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, and it was midnight, so it's dark.
Right.
But she had no shot. He or she had no shot of knowing where that pothole was to avoid it.
Yeah, I think the thing was that they tried to go with the play on words for the title, "Panic at the Pothole," and
yeah,
that it doesn't work as good if you're like "Panic in the Yard Hole."
Panic at the neighbor/cousin's house.
Yeah,
panic because my phone didn't work.
Yeah,
panic because it's
at
midnight.
the lack of Wi-Fi.
Panic because my sister won't leave me alone about where I'm going in a hurry at midnight. If you start running out of the house screaming at midnight and your little sister isn't concerned, I'd be worried. Like I would be concerned about where my sister or brother is going, just completely out of nowhere at high speeds in the middle of the night.
Oh, Sean, I just realized.
You did?
This story isn't real anyways, because it started with Once Upon a Time. It's a fairy tale.
Oh, yeah, it's a fairy tale. But
we knew that going into it, and we just still believed it.
We're suckers.
We're fools.
It didn't even end and they lived happily ever after, though.
Well, yeah. No, this is more of a Grimm's fairy tale because it didn't end with a happily ever after.
Yeah.
It ended with her sister dying.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're about to say, apologizing for your shirt, but nobody else can see it.
Yeah. I'm apologizing to you for my shirt not being freshly pressed before our call. It's not ironed. All right, so the next story.
Let's jump into the next one. We've done enough.
We've done enough on the first story. Without reading the story, I'm going to guess that this is about someone who decided to use a toilet for a while, and then they got over it, and now they're back to their non-toilet using ways.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
Well, the story is called The Toilet Phase.
Oh.
Yeah. That or there's some sort of toilet with phasers hooked up to it. Anyway, when I was younger, storyteller, around 3 or 4 years old, I had a phase of flushing things down the toilet. I got you. I would flush McDonald's toys I didn't want anymore, or change I had found in my room. The biggest and most hilarious thing I ever dumped was a gallon of milk.
Oh, that's so hilarious.
I know it could have been it could have been a scary end to that sentence. One day I was bored and was looking around in the fridge. Lo and behold, there it was, a new gallon of milk. My tiny body dragged the bottle on the floor all the way to the bathroom. I opened the cap because the cap opens. I let it go into the toilet and flushed. I thought
the cap?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they removed the cap and just flushed the cap. But let it go, I'm guessing, means emptied bottle.
Yeah.
And flushed. I thought I was smart enough to let it go unnoticed, but I'll never forget what my dad yelled out when he walked in. Why in the hell is the water white? My mom found the empty carton and just stared at me. That's a very short, stupid story.
Yeah, this story was unnecessary. I'll never forget, my dad yelled. Why in the hell is the water white? I mean, it's not like a profound statement to always, I'll never forget when he said this crazy thing.
Right. And again, this is more proof that whoever came up with these stories, they just wrote them in a way that says that no one really knows how to communicate with each other.
Right.
Because why would the mom just...
I feel like these stories are written by an alien who's trying to seem like they're human.
Yeah.
They're like, this is how humans talk, right?
Yeah. My mom found the empty carton. They didn't, yell at me, ground me, send me to my room. No. They just stared at me. As moms do.
Stared at me. Yeah. In the alien world, that's devastating.
Yeah.
So when your parents look at you, that's bad.
Yeah, you're about to be jettisoned into space. The vacuum, the cold, cold vacuum of space. I'm guessing they flushed the toilet, and if it doesn't all flush down and some of it gets kicked back up, maybe that's why the water wasn't clear.
Right.
I
I mean,
if you come in, if you go in, let's say you go into the bathroom and the water
let's say
isn't
that.
and the water isn't completely, during your toilet phase, and the water isn't
Right,
completely clear, do you like
Mhm.
investigate, or do you just flush the toilet and then use the toilet?
I mean, I get down on my hands and knees. I stick my face right in there, take a big old whiff, try to figure out why is this water not clear.
Not clear. Yeah.
You know,
I don't know
is
about
it
you,
white?
but
Is it red?
I don't know about you, but I bust out my toilet ladle and I start getting
Right.
samples, and
Right.
I take them to the lab.
Right. You start like sifting for gold style, like putting your little
I got
thing
my
and, like,
I got my pan.
Yep.
Yep, that's what I do.
Sift through it, see if there's any good old nuggets of something in there.
Try
Try to figure it all out. You know,
a lot of times there are nuggets that are found.
right?
Yeah, it's called the brown rush.
Yeah. Yep. Moving on.
Yeah, this
story.
very short.
Yep.
Hey, my next story is numbered.
We spent a lot of time on that first one, so hopefully we can.
We gotta pick up the pace here.
Yeah. Well, we got a short one here now again too. This one's called "My Mom's Thong."
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not. Thankfully, it's not my mom's thong phase. I'm glad she's sticking with it.
Yeah, or my mom's toilet thong.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
Yeah. One day when I was 3, I hate how these stories always start like that. Just like, one day when I was this age.
Yeah, let's go back to once upon a time.
Just say when I was 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume there was a day at that
point. What was that one where it said like on a particular day?
Yeah. On like, one particular day.
Isn't every day?
Yeah, they're all particular days. Yeah. I mean, I can't have a phase of particular days.
It's true.
Or like a series of particular days.
Those are my toilet days.
An entire week of particular days.
Yeah.
All right. So one day when I was 3, I decided I wanted to be like my mom and wear big girl panties. I'm going to assume this is. I'm going to make the assumption that this is in the storyteller is female.
We'll see. Maybe. We might not.
All right. I sneakily went through her drawer and grabbed the first thing I could find, a thong. I didn't know what it was at the time.
It must have been right on top. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Those are her laundry. That's her laundry thong. It's laundry day thong.
Yeah.
She didn't know until we went to breakfast with some friends and took me to the bathroom. She still won't let me live it down. This.
These are all everlasting, right? The events in these stories people bring up constantly throughout the rest of their lives.
Yeah. I wore my mom's thong once, and she didn't know until she took me to the bathroom. So you're young enough. This person is young enough that they still need to be escorted to the bathroom.
They're 3.
Oh yeah. So hold on. How small is this kid's mom that these underwear like even remotely fit?
I mean, if they put them on and then just like put their pants on over it, it's not like it's gonna fall out.
Doesn't matter how loose it is.
That's why it wasn't discovered until they took the kid to the bathroom.
And there's nothing worse than a loose thong.
There are worse things.
I mean, there's a lot of things worse.
There are
like death and famine.
Yeah. Being maimed.
Yeah. Genocide.
Ending your toilet phase.
Yeah. Flushing a whole gallon of milk. That's way worse than just wearing a loose thong.
Yeah. Tripping in a yard hole.
But she still won't let me live it down. Like, it's not like.
What kind of parent are you if you're really still? This is when your kid is 3 years old. They're going to do stuff like this.
It's probably something that they bring up every once in a while. Oh, there's a funny little story when you were 3 and you wore my thong. That's not like as a kid, I'm like devastated by this. Like, you won't leave me alone about it, Mom. I was 3. Like, no, it's just a funny story of when you were a kid. Who cares?
It's like if your senior yearbook, they have parents write in little blurbs about their kids,
right?
They're graduating, and then they mention the thong story in the yearbook, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, just won't let me live it down. Saying like she still won't let me live it down is like you did something devastating to the family,
right?
And she's holding it over your head still. Like, this isn't unless that was a very special thong that should never be worn.
It was her top of the drawer thong, so it's worn.
Yeah,
it's worn a lot.
It's worn a lot. Yeah.
Because
So
either that
she won't
or
let me
they're
live it down.
either that or they're horrible at finding things, because if they went through the drawer and grabbed the first thing they could find and it was something
Right.
at the bottom of the drawer, then they suck at finding things.
Right.
I mean, there's a picture, I don't know how old I was, but there's a picture of me where I have my mom's like high-heeled
thong?
shoes on. No, like high-heeled shoes on.
Right.
Never
Were they from the
talks
bottom
about
of the
it.
drawer?
Yeah. Never talks about it.
Because she's trying to block that memory out.
Yeah. That's why she took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
what I do for things I want to forget.
she might never bring it up. She might never bring it up because she's going to eventually try to use that photo for blackmail.
Blackmail, yeah. She's waiting she's waiting for me to become a significant person that has something of value that she could gain out of blackmailing me. And I'm refusing to get there.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way to defeat blackmail of any sort, is just don't get to a position where blackmail would do anything for you.
Yeah, I have no assets.
Exactly. That's the best way to be, you know? I mean, I'm minutes away from being homeless. Any given day.
Minutes away. That's how fast of a process it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm legally bankrupt on paper, but I have workarounds.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mostly emotionally bankrupt. So
I'm physiologically bankrupt. Like, I'm all out of organs.
That's interesting. You should be studied.
Yeah, it's a real Weekend at Bernie's thing happening over here. You can't really tell, but there are people manipulating my limbs.
There's people to either side of you right now.
Yeah, my sunglasses fell off already. Otherwise, you'd be seeing me in sunglasses to cover up the fact that my eyes don't work. Or I guess if eyes are organs, I wouldn't have them.
Right. Are eyes organs?
I think I don't know, actually.
I mean, I feel like an organ is more something that like does some sort of a process in your body. Yeah, like does something has a process that it does for your body.
Right, like your heart pumps the blood throughout your body, and your stomach digests, and your liver does things. I don't know. Your liver gets damaged by alcohol.
I think your liver cleans your blood.
Oh,
I think.
I think that's
I was
one
going
of
to try
things.
to go there. I was literally going to try to find an organ and be like, and this organ does something.
Yeah. And the appendix. Is removable.
I always feel like the appendix is just your body's self-destruct button. Like, it eventually just tries to kill you.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's something we don't need anymore. Because I believe wasn't the appendix originally, I thought it was there to help like break down like dirt and stuff. Because
I think it was something like that.
Back in the day when we used to have to forage for food and all that, you'd get dirt in your system. And I thought the appendix had something to do with helping clear out the dirt and stuff.
You can also live without your gallbladder, right? You can get that removed.
Yeah. Or was it the gallbladder then? Maybe it was the gallbladder.
No, the appendix. No, you're right about the appendix. And being thought to be used for digesting that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Which is why it's of no use to us now.
Right, exactly. They should just remove them on birth.
I was just trying to at birth.
Yeah, just instantly.
Just baby is born, immediate invasive surgery right away.
Yeah, we don't. Take out the appendix, take out the tonsils. We don't need them.
It's a thought. Yeah, but I was trying to think of another. I was trying to think of another single organ that you can have removed and live with. Like, you can obviously donate or lose one lung or one kidney, but you need the other one. So, but a gallbladder, I think, is a solo organ that you can have removed and still live.
Right. I mean, technically, the pancreas, you can. It's just not a very fun or easy way to live, but you can technically get rid of it and still live. I mean, women have a few more because you can get rid of your whole reproductive system and still live.
The uterus.
Yeah. We've gotten very off track here. Thanks, Mom's Thong.
Thanks, Mom's Thong. We're talking about body parts now. All right. Slappy trails. Slappy trails to you until we meet again. My story's numbered, so this will help. There's a couple, well, I guess only two.
They're all numbered.
sections.
Yours just has a list in it.
But yeah, a numbered list of things. It looks like it's only 2 long, though. All right. One time in 5th grade, I was walking back to class from the bathroom. Before I continue, I should specify 2 things. Here comes the list.
Oh, boy.
The numbered list. My classroom was literally just around the corner from the bathroom, next to the lockers.
This is the first time anybody's used literally, and I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this, I believe, like, okay, yeah, it was literally just, okay.
Like, because people could say, oh, it was just around the corner from this, and it's sort of close by, or, it's...
Right.
Anyway.
It's 5 blocks away. In a different school.
Yeah. It's at the gas station, 2 blocks over.
The gas
number
station.
2, there was a boy that I had a crush on for the past year in my class. So let's recap here. I was walking back to class from the bathroom, in which there is a boy I have a crush on, and I've had a crush on this boy for the past year. And
I just like how I was walking back to class from the bathroom. But before I continue, I have to specify 2 things about like what I just said.
Yeah,
My classroom is very close to the bathroom, and I had a crush on a boy.
They could just be part of the story. They don't have to be.
Yep.
Oh, let me give you some backstory before I continue with the story.
Yeah, because the fact that they have a crush on this boy in her class has nothing to do with the fact that she's walking back from the bathroom. So why does she have to specify these 2 things before she continued?
Well, I mean,
before I continue, let me continue.
Yeah,
is basically what I just said.
Okay. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, I was swinging my arms around in a wild half windmill motion while walking back from the bathroom.
I mean, I would assume any half windmill would be pretty wild.
Yeah.
It would be very off balance.
That would take a lot more energy to go in a half windmill motion versus a full windmill motion. Does that mean they're going halfway back and then coming forward again, but never going the full circle around?
That's, I guess, how I would... Yeah. I mean, I'm imagining half of a windmill spinning, which would just throw its balance off really bad, and
I see what you mean.
Destroy itself.
Like maybe they're doing full windmill motion, but just one with one of their arms.
Yeah, but they're swinging. She's swinging her arms. Yeah.
So I would think it's like kind of like they're rocking back and forth versus going over in a full circle.
I mean, I'm imagining that they were actually doing a full windmill motion, but just describing it as a half windmill motion because they're a moron.
Whatever happens in this story, if this is the way you walk back from the bathroom, you got no shot with that boy you have a crush on anyway.
Right, unless he's the other half of her windmill.
Oh, that's romantic. Let's let's move on.
It's so romantic.
Don't ask me why. I was just filled with childlike glee. Well, because you're in 5th grade, you're still a child. Don't ask me why I was filled with childlike glee as the ripe old age of 11.
I was filled with adult-like glee.
Yeah, which you know what that means. Okay, I was just filled with childlike glee, I guess. So there I was, swinging my arms dramatically. Then, just when I got to the corner, smack.
So much drugs.
The kid selling smack was there. I had accidentally slapped someone in the face. It took me a second to realize who it was. My crush. I was mortified, but he just started laughing. So to this day, I can probably cite that as one of my top clumsy / socially inept moments.
I like how it didn't he just started laughing. This was my crush. He just started there's no
there's no resolution to that. Yeah.
I was expecting and to this day we're still together or some shit, he just, but no, just this was just a dumb thing I did.
He just stared at me and he didn't talk to me for the rest of the semester.
Also, how is that a socially inept moment?
You bumped into somebody essentially.
Yeah,
you went around the corner.
You're both going around the corner at the same time. You were just being stupid, swinging your arms around, blindly rounding corners. That doesn't make you socially inept.
What part is the socially inept part? Is it the fact that they're one of their flailing limbs hit someone else, or the fact that they're someone who walks around swinging their arms all over the place while they're walking down the hall?
I guess maybe that part.
That part makes them more socially inept than accidentally bumping into
they
someone.
Just don't care. Yeah, they don't care what's going on around them, or they're so like closed off. Once they start going into windmill mode, like the rest of the world around them is just like they can't focus on anything else. It's like, I'm a windmill now. This is what I do. Anything that's going on around me that's not windmill, I have no idea until I smack somebody in the face. The school drug dealer.
You know, in elementary school, probably 4th or 5th grade, around that time, I would have
one day
kids,
when you were in 4th or 5th grade.
One day when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I did have kids that would sometimes eventually kids started running away from me at recess, and that's because I would mimic the knights in the Quest for the Holy Grail and pretend I was galloping around on a horse to get from place to place, because I must have just recently seen that movie that year.
So they were running away from you because they thought you were like weird and creepy, or what?
I think they probably didn't want to. Yeah, I think they didn't want to be around me.
Okay, that's more socially inept,
right? Unless
like you were totally like, yeah, I'm for this. Like, I don't want these kids around me.
I mean, there were a lot
kind of. You're not socially inept at that point. At that point, you're doing it on purpose, so there's no ineptitude happening.
That's how I played football at recess too.
Oh, so you get the ball and then you do that, and then they'd all run away from you and just get easy touchdowns.
It was super easy. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, actually, Sean, I think when I would play football, I did not do that. I actually ran.
Okay.
I was a quarterback a lot. I could throw the ball.
That's
far.
That's another good way to make sure you never get sacked. Let's do the gallop thing as the.
Yeah, I might be an easy target then, because you don't move around really fast when you're galloping around like that.
Yeah, but you said they run away from you if you're galloping.
If
you're doing the gallop thing as the quarterback, they won't sack you. You have all the time in the world to throw that ball.
If I were actually playing football doing that, people probably wouldn't run away from me to avoid me. They would just tackle me to easily, not easily prevent my side from advancing down the field. And I probably wouldn't be asked to play anymore.
Probably.
I'd be told to not play.
Sean, I think it's time we tell everybody about the ramen incident.
Is this the first story involving ramen?
You know, we've done so many of these, I have no idea anymore.
They're so memorably hilarious. I have no idea if we...
There's only been a few that kind of stand out.
Yeah. I remember basically no details from any of the previous stories that we've gone over, because this is...
Maybe just the Pringles one.
Oh, yeah, that one. I mean, I did call back earlier that someone didn't talk to someone for the rest of the year. At minimum. I would have, at minimum, murdered them, or whatever they said.
Yeah. And to this day, she fears my cold, dead hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
One of my favorites still.
If it wasn't for the supervisor at that school that approached... Anyway, I like that one.
But this one's about the ramen incident.
Yep.
I have decided to remain anonymous to protect my identity from the foolishness.
As opposed to every other one of these stories?
Yeah.
No one has ever identified themselves. They're aliens again, which aliens trying to sound human.
This story is very recent.
Yeah.
Last night, I became hungry and decided to make some ramen. I removed the various packets, from the bowl. What kind of ramen are they buying that comes pre-bowled?
They have a ramen bowl. No, they just have a big ramen. You know, people will have fruit out in a bowl on the table or on the counter. Okay. They have a ramen bowl.
Just various ramens in it?
Or at least they had a ramen bowl last night.
Okay. So I removed the various packets from the bowl, added the flavor and vegetables, then put the bowl in the microwave. Just dry. Like water?
Well, and it sounds like they removed okay, hold on. They removed the packets from the bowl and then added the flavor and vegetables. So it sounds like there's no noodles maybe in the bowl.
Yeah, there's no noodles, there's no water.
It's just the flavoring and the vegetables?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure we're being super pedantic, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how. Anyway, maybe they get into that.
After about a minute or two, I realized something was wrong. A terrible burning smell that filled my kitchen. I opened the door to my one. Yep. I opened the door to my microwave, and lo and behold, I had neglected to add water.
You said it.
I totally called it.
Yep.
Man, there was some smoke coming from the bowl. Not wanting to waste the ramen, I went to the sink and added water. You are disgusting. Which filled the room in acrid smoke for several seconds.
Oh, multiple
You know how smoke
seconds.
It's really quick.
Yeah.
You know how smoke goes away like super fast.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I cook and my smoke detector goes off, it goes off for like a second.
Done.
And then that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
No need to
like
intervene.
when your house is on fire, like when your house is on fire and the smoke just goes away really quick so you can just walk out without having breathing issues.
I don't know why they teach us. I don't know why they teach us to stay low and like to crawl your way out.
I mean, it's so dumb because smoke goes away so fast.
It's a very impatient way to handle things. Just give it a second and you'll be fine to stand up and walk out without any issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I then returned the bowl to the microwave and cooked it for 2 more minutes before attempting to eat it.
Sounds like they didn't eat it.
Well, it went okay for a little while until I discovered a globule.
A globule?
Globule? I guess, yeah, globule. This has got the best words in it so far.
I think this is the second story from today where they said "lo and behold," though. If I'm not mistaken, I think one of the earlier ones had "lo and behold" in it.
I discovered a globule of. I still can't say it.
I think it's
blackened noodles.
Yeah.
Of blackened noodles, which had turned into some sort of strange crystalline substance, yet seen in nature by humankind. I had a change of heart.
About what?
I think they had a change of heart of like eating it. Like I couldn't possibly have eaten this. I just created a brand new element,
a brand new crystalline substance.
Yeah, never yet seen in nature by humankind.
Out of a blackened noodle globule.
I mean, unless this guy's microwave is in nature, it still hasn't been seen in nature by humankind.
True.
Like, and did he keep this thing? Did he bring it to science? Did he bring it to the science people?
Did he bring it to science?
Yep. I said it like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Did he bring it to science so that they could, study this brand new, strange crystalline substance that has yet to be seen by humankind? Or did he just toss it in the trash?
I think I hope he brought it to science. I hope he brought it to science, and science just laughed at this person and said, "You just burned your ramen."
Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot and you forgot to put water in it.
Yeah, and we're closed. Science is closed.
The one
today.
ingredient, water, is the only ingredient that you have to provide when making ramen.
Yeah,
everything else comes with it.
It says water not included on the package. I've never had ramen.
Yeah, you've never had ramen?
No, so I don't know what the package says.
Really?
No, I've never had it.
I mean, instant ramen's fine, but you'd probably enjoy like going and getting actual ramen from like a restaurant.
It's
basically just like
it's noodles
like
in flavored. It's noodles in broth. Really, that's all it is.
I mean, kind of. That's a pretty
accurate,
precise
it's
basic while still being accurate description of what ramen is.
It's like slightly warmed bread.
This isn't toast. This is slightly warmed bread.
Call back to something we did.
I don't
all right.
Remember what was that from?
That was it. That was at Denny's when you, Mike, and I went after the very successful 20-year high school reunion. High school.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know if we ever want to talk about that at all at some point, but if people want to hear about the 20-year reunion, that's how. Yeah. Well, we will talk. We will talk about the 20-year reunion and how that went if people actually ask us about it. If we don't hear back from listeners asking us about it, we will never talk about it on here.
And I might say, snooze, you don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't count for this one.
Yeah. People that went to it don't count.
Yeah. All right, are we done with the ramen incident?
Yeah. I mean,
because we're gonna jump way off kilter from that story, and this story is called First Phone Accident.
Oh my God, we had a ramen incident. Now we have a phone accident.
Yeah, and first phone accident suggests that this is not the last.
Ooh.
So let's get into this one. When I was in the 6th grade, my parents decided I should get my first cell phone because I was going to middle school now, and things were different.
Man, things are different because I didn't get my first cell phone until I could buy my own cell phone when I was 18. But cell phones were still pretty new back then.
And I got mine years after that. I think it was around, I think it was around 03 or 04 that I got my first cell phone. So I was 21 or 22, something like that.
Right.
All right, no one cares. It was a pink little slide phone where you slide it sideways and have the texting keyboard and all.
Ooh.
Maybe as a sidekick.
Yeah, or they had a few different phones that kind of did that. But yeah, sidekick style, for those of you who remember what a sidekick is.
Yeah. I took decent care of my phone and never needed a replacement. Never.
Only decent care. But only decent care.
Yeah.
I didn't take great care of it. I didn't take good care of it. I just took decent care of it.
Hold on. Okay.
Enough for it to stay alive.
They're very cavalier about using the word never, because this sounds like they got their phone at the beginning of the school year. And then they said, well, flash forward to Memorial Day weekend, which is in May, right?
Okay, well, I mean, it just says when I was in the 6th grade, so it could have been any time within the 6th grade. Didn't have to be the beginning of the year.
Sure, but if you're going to say if you're going to be someone that says I took decent care of my phone and never needed a replacement, to give them the most amount of time without needing a replacement, we should go with the beginning of the school year, because they're in middle school now and things are different. So that's why I'm saying beginning of the year is when they got the cell phone.
Okay, so we're talking September-ish.
Yeah, and they never needed a replacement. But flash forward to Memorial Day weekend, which is just a few months later. My family and another family went camping up in Pennsylvania for the weekend.
Not together, just in general.
Yeah. Oh, you're going camping in Pennsylvania? We live in Georgia. Well, one of the days we were up there, my buddy Oliver, of the other family, I'm assuming, and I decided to take the kayaks out on the lake. Genius me decided she wanted to listen to the 4 Selena Gomez songs I had on my phone. Oliver probably did not want that. I thought it would be a brilliant idea to put my phone in a plastic bag to protect it from the water. When we got back from kayaking, I took my phone out only to find the bag was submerged in water. We had no rice or anything to save my phone, so we tried laying it out to dry. So does that mean they didn't close the bag, or what's happening here?
I mean, yeah, it just says the bag was submerged in water.
Like the bag was in the water. There must have been a hole in it.
If they didn't seal it.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of plastic? The plastic bag was undefined, so it might have just been like
it was like a Target
it was a
bag.
shopping bag.
Yeah. We had no rice or anything to save my phone, so we tried laying it out to dry. Not even 15 minutes later, it starts downpouring, destroying my phone even more. My mom ended up giving me her first flip phone, which didn't even have a camera or the option to have music or photos transferred. Lesson learned.
I mean, I personally have no issue bringing my current phone out on a kayak and just not being an idiot with it. You put it in a bag that you can seal properly,
right,
and attach it to something that fucking floats just in case you drop it off the side of the boat.
But keep in mind, you're a wise old man. This was an 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid. 12-year-old kid.
Right. I mean, I have no problem listening to my 4 Selena Gomez songs.
Yeah.
But also,
hopefully,
the rice thing doesn't even work anyways. So.
Is that true?
BS. Yeah, the rice thing's bullshit. Because if the water gets, just dropping your phone in some rice isn't going to pull the water out from inside the phone. You'd still have to open the phone up to get any water that is on any, like, the actual circuitry. And the other thing it does is that it gets like either little bits of rice or full chunks of rice in any ports you have.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't do anything. The best thing you can do is just set it out somewhere on a dry surface, like on top of a towel or something, and just hope for the best.
Would it be effective at all to, how people will put a slice of bread inside a bag that also has like cookies that are kind of dried up, and the cookies will absorb the moisture in the bread and become soft again? You know, people do that?
I've never heard of that.
It works. So I wonder if you could do something similar with a phone where if you put like, something really dry that's not rice, like a really dry, something in there that will absorb moisture out of the phone.
I mean, it's gonna have to be something that's gonna actively try to pull the moisture out of whatever circumstance it's in. Because if you just put like a dry sponge next to like on top of a phone or something like that, it's not gonna suck the water. It's got to be something that's gonna want to absorb any moisture that's in any situation it's in.
But try that with cookies sometime. If you,
I mean, if I have a dry cookie and I want it to be moist, I'll just put it in my mouth and eat the son of a bitch. And eventually it gets nice and soft and chewed up in my mouth. And then I'll spit it back out into the bag and I have a moist cookie.
Yeah.
Or milk.
I really hope that
fucking dip it in milk.
Right. Yeah. Let's say you don't have any milk.
Dip it.
Let's say I
flushed it all down the toilet.
I was gonna say. Let's say you flushed all your milk down the toilet in your toilet phase.
Yeah. Now I got all these dry cookies and no milk.
I'm hoping that the title is not saying that this is an accident that they had with their first phone, but I'm hoping that it means that this is their first accident with a phone, because at the end they say lesson learned, and if the lesson was truly learned, they would not have had any more of a similar phone accidents.
Well, yeah, they just wouldn't have the same. They wouldn't do the same thing. They've never again broken a phone in that same manner of submerging it in a bag of water and then letting it sit out in the rain.
Well, with the way you just phrased it, if they put their phone in a bag of water, that was before they even went kayaking. The phone was ruined.
Yeah. Like, so what I did was I found a bag and submerged my phone in the bag of water.
Yeah, I found a bag full of water and just put my phone in it.
Oh no, you know what she did? It was a bag of ice.
Oh,
and she put her phone in that, thinking, it's in a bag of ice. This is the safest place it can be because this is frozen water. It can't get wet if it's with frozen water.
And phones tend to run hot when you're cycling the same 4 Selena Gomez songs. I don't know about you, but my phone, I can't even touch it after a while.
Maybe
it's so hot.
I'm wondering if what was the point of wanting to listen to the floor? Like, they're going to this is how much time we're going to be in these kayaks. Once these 4 songs are done, we're heading back in.
Yeah.
We got about 12 to 15 minutes out here on this lake, and we are going back in.
This is the strategy for, wanting to chase away your buddy Oliver. So they no longer want to go kayaking with you, is to make them sit through these 4 Selena Gomez songs during the kayaking adventure.
Yeah. I mean, nothing against Selena Gomez, but kind of everything against Selena Gomez.
Especially those 4 songs of hers.
Yeah, those are her 4 worst songs.
Yeah. The one about the cute boy, and the one about being with your friends, and the one about coming of age, and the one about heartbreak. Those are the 4 worst songs. All right, Matt, let's get started on your story. Oh, hello. Wavy, wavy.
All right, yeah, sorry. I had to mute my mic for a second to have a conversation.
I was hoping that you... Hold on. Did you have me muted too, or could you hear me?
No, I could hear you. Yeah.
I was hoping you weren't listening or wouldn't be able to hear me, because I was going to say, all right, Matt, let's get on to your story. And then I was going to wait for you to get back into this.
No. So yeah, we got a couple more short ones. I say we do 2 more little short ones here.
Sure.
And then, cause we're quite a ways in today. So this one is called Driver's License.
No, it isn't.
What? Did I skip ahead?
I did. Little Thief.
Little Thief. I skipped a whole, because I scrolled around and then I went back up to the wrong spot.
You did.
This story is called Little Thief.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just edit none of that out. When I was around 4 or 5, none of these stories specify, nobody knows when anything happened in their lives. They know around about a time that things happen in their lives, right?
My story says specifically when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess let's say about half of these damn stories, nobody knows how old they actually are. But to me, it's if you have this specific story to tell in your life, this thing happened, you're going to remember if you were in the 5th or the 6th grade.
And
or
also,
you were 4 or 5. You know, you're going to remember what age you were.
Also, if it's a story that qualifies as being one of the funniest stories on the internet.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So when I was around 4 or 5, I was with my mom at the store buying some Christmas gifts. As we were leaving, why the fuck? Just jumps immediately into we were leaving. Like,
just say, when I was around 4 or 5, my mom and I were leaving the store. Boom.
After buying some Christmas presents, if that's significant or not. Anyways, as we were leaving, I saw this little plushy dinosaurs.
It said
specified
these.
it. Oh,
it said these.
Don't correct me. Saw these little plushy dinosaurs that fit perfectly in my hands. I grabbed 2 of them and stashed one in each of my pockets. My pockets were so small that they made me look like I had 2 roomers. What?
I'm guessing that's a typo.
Yeah.
The R.
I grabbed 2 of them.
The R is right next to the T on the keyboard.
Oh, so you think it's supposed to say tumors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, roomots. I think it's supposed to say 2 roomots. Idiot.
Wow. My pockets were so small that it made me look like I had 2 roomots on each of my hips. Or is it 2 mots? Both R's aren't supposed to. Neither R is supposed to be there. All right. Tumors on each of my hips. I still remember the rush of energy I got from actually leaving the store undetected, except for the tumors. Well, when my mom and I got...
Does that mean that no one can see you? Like, you're not there? No one can see you in the parking lot? You're undetected?
They got out of the store completely undetected.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, when my mom and I got into the car, she found them and called the store back and made me apologize. You haven't even left yet. You just got in the car. Why'd you have to
walk back into the store? Walk into the store.
I had the absolute worst social anxiety when I was a kid, so I was absolutely sobbing, telling this poor employee how horrible a person I was. I'm sure the employee doesn't. You were 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell them, I'm such a horrible person, and this employee is just like, oh, I can't take this.
And
this is so hard on me.
You're saying that because you got caught. You weren't feeling that when you took the dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah. Like, I was having a mental breakdown. No, you weren't. You were a kid that was in trouble.
Yeah, you were crying because you got caught.
It was so bad. My mom apologized to me afterwards and bought me a nice milkshake. All right, lesson learned. Yeah. If you steal and you feel bad about it, free milkshakes.
If you feel bad enough about getting caught stealing,
right?
Your parents will buy you a milkshake
right.
And why did she apologize to the daughter? Like, for making her admit that? Or the kid.
Well, yeah, so the mom apologized to her child for making them apologize for stealing.
They stole stuff from the store.
Like, oh, I'm so sorry I made you do that. I didn't think it would make you feel bad. I didn't think you'd have, a negative reaction to being caught and having to apologize for stealing something. Yeah, here's a milkshake.
Yeah. Little did she know I already stole a
nice milkshake. Yeah,
a nice milkshake.
But I poured all the milk down the toilet, so it was just a nice shake.
Yeah. Now it no longer brings all the boys to the yard.
Yeah. Now it brings some of them.
Yeah, some of the boys.
The ones that came for the shake and not the milk.
Some of them trip over the yard hole. That's not a euphemism.
We're tying all these.
It's not a euphemism.
Together.
It's an actual hole in someone's lawn hole. All right. Last one.
I like how the little plushy dinosaurs fit perfectly in their hands, but not in their pockets.
Yeah. So their hands don't fit in their pockets?
Pockets are so small. Yeah, the pockets are so small that they're useless because the point of a pocket is to put your hands in them.
Yeah.
Right?
So
the point of your pocket is to hold things, but still, your hands typically fit inside your
hands should be able to fit inside the pockets. And so why would you put them in those pockets if they were so small? It looked like you had 2 roomots.
Yeah, if they fit perfectly in your hands, you probably would have had a better chance just carrying them out in your hands undetected.
Or you get in the back of the car, you kick them under the seat in front of you, and then... So this also suggests that when your kid gets in the car, you turn around and just check their pockets for things.
Yeah, I mean, she found them.
Yeah. When my mom got my mom and I got to the car. Oh, to the car, she found them. So they weren't in the car yet. So she just noticed
that's the other thing.
The 2 months.
They're not even in the car yet, but the mom just called the store back and made me apologize. Didn't even say that we like returned them or anything. We just called the store and I apologized.
Yeah.
And then we went and got a milkshake.
No, so it's like, hey, sorry, we're in the parking lot of your store and my daughter stole some things. She's really sorry about it, but we're going to go now. She's crying, so I got to go buy her a milkshake to shut her up.
Yeah. I mean, this poor employee that had to deal with that phone call.
Oh, I know.
Hearing this little 4 or 5 year old just talking about how horrible they are.
Yeah. And the kid's having a mental breakdown.
It's like, also, you're a 4 or a 5 year old. Like, people aren't going to be that mad at you for stealing something. They're going to just explain to you why it's wrong. They're not going to tell you you're a horrible person. I mean, you're not even a person yet. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You're 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You're barely a thing. I mean, you're a noun. You're just a noun. That's all you are at that point in your life. You're just a noun. That's the biggest descriptor you should have as a 4 or 5 year old.
Where's your stance on abortion, man? I'm just curious. When does life begin?
I'm for it.
But it sounds like you're willing. It sounds like you'd be okay with it, in the toddler age.
Isn't there that saying where they're like, life begins at 50? Have you ever heard that? Where like somebody says like that?
Yeah.
So up until that point, abortion's fine.
That's what.
If you kill somebody, if you kill a 48-year-old, it's fine. It's just abortion.
Fine.
It's not illegal. I mean, unless you're in Texas.
I couldn't afford to raise them.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like you're.
A parent's like, I just looked at how much like college costs, so I just decided to abort my 17-year-old.
Yeah. Ooh. I didn't. I didn't suggest they go get a job. Are we doing one more? Or are we calling it a day? Here?
Let's do this. Let's do one more, so we end on you again. Yeah.
Driver's license. So I was at a local DMV. I didn't go outside of my city to get my driver's license.
Good.
Yeah,
I think you have to.
I think
you have to at least
too.
stay inside your county.
Your county, yeah. I was at the local DMV to get my driver's license when my dad pissed off the lady at the counter. Turns out she was the lady that had to do the actual road test with me. We get in the car.
That can't be true.
No. Yeah, if you're at the desk, you're at the desk or the counter, or whatever.
Yeah.
We get in the car,
and
I thought
people that do specific jobs.
Yeah, we get in the car, and I thought I was.
Well, I'm going to keep cutting you off because also I don't think you do the driver's test at the actual DMV. I mean, maybe some places are different, but where I went, there was like a completely like separate place that took my test.
You went somewhere else to take the test. Yeah. You go to a DMV, there's not a course. There's not a road test course there. It's a parking lot to the DMV. Aliens? We get in the car, and I thought I was doing pretty well.
I'm done cutting you off now.
Driver's license. So I was at the local DMV to get my driver's license when my dad pissed off the lady at the counter. Turns out she was the lady that had to do the actual road test with me. We get in the car, and I thought I was doing pretty well until she starts freaking out. She has me pull over. Okay, it's talking in present tense. But it starts off with she has me pull over, tells me I'm the worst drive ever. After yelling at me,
there's no way she can tell that.
No.
Yeah.
After yelling at me, she demands I go back to the DMV, and the rest of the time she is on her phone. When we get there, there is a state trooper waiting for me. Gives me a field sobriety test. Literally had to take a sobriety test when I tried to get my license. At least I passed one test that day.
They should probably give this lady a field sobriety test.
Yeah, this woman should be suspended
for
or
multiple reasons.
Yeah, this woman needs to get coached.
If this story was remotely true, which it obviously isn't.
Aliens.
This woman says to this child, I'm assuming this is a kid getting their license at the age of 16 or whatever, depending on where they're from, when you can get your license, because their dad was involved. in some way. Right. So I'm assuming it's not an adult trying to get a license later in life. But
They're
says
barely
this
even a
kid is you are the worst drive ever. You are the worst drive
Worst
ever,
drive.
right?
Yeah.
Now, I demand you drive back to the DMV.
Yeah. Why did they not switch
I don't feel
places?
safe in this car with you. I do not feel safe in this car with you. Therefore, I want you to get me back to safety as fast as possible, where I'm no longer in this car with you. Hey, also, you're not licensed yet. I'm going to be on my phone the entire time that you are dangerously driving me back to this place. And I'm going to have the cops sobriety test you because clearly I think you're drunk. So since I think you're drunk, you better drive me back to the DMV right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a person that I suspect is drunk drive me back. Yeah. Me, a licensed driver, going to have an unlicensed, potentially intoxicated person drive me back and hope that the police don't call me into question for any of this.
So basically they're getting at is that this lady was holding a grudge against a child because she got into an argument
with their dad,
with the child's dad. And yeah, none of this adds up at all. Like, you're going to call the troopers, the state troopers, by the way. State troopers aren't going to come and give you a field sobriety test. Local cops would.
Yeah. State trooper.
Yeah. I'm going to call the state troopers in.
I'm on highway patrol, but I'm going to stop doing that.
Right. Because, like, there's so many things wrong with this story. I mean, seriously, people need to do better when they're making up fake stories.
Tenses aside.
Again, this is what aliens think we go through.
Yeah, I know. I was going to look up. I was going to look up when this. Is there a thing that says when this whole thing was posted? 2018, September 2018 was when it was updated. So who knows? But the last time this whole list of stories was touched was 3 years ago.
Right.
So, I mean, who knows? The aliens could have learned a lot since then.
True.
These aliens care so much about our behavior. That's why we should what?
Mm-hmm. That's why we should fear them, because they're learning.
They're learning. Yeah.
They are learning. And I feel like we just gave them so much more information.
I know. They're probably listening to us, and we're helping them learn.
Right. They're listening to us right now while we're recording this.
They're like, oh, tenses.
They're the only ones that get the live feed of this recording.
Because they learned how, but not from us.
Yeah, no, from years of painstaking research and
road tests.
Yeah, all the road tests they've taken. Crazy.
Yeah, hey, this was another episode of this podcast. High School Famous, the podcast.
High School Famous, the podcast, the musical.
I did sing in part of it.
Oh,
Bye.
What? Did you?
Yeah.
I don't remember you singing.
It was, I forget. You erased the stories, so I don't know which part it was, but.
Oh, yeah, those are gone now. There's no way I could hit undo.
Well, I can't hit undo. I don't think, because I don't,
It's gone forever, Sean. There's no way we could go back to the website or anything. It's all
true.
sad.
I don't care enough to try to find it, except I am.
You're looking.
It's
so not worth it at this point. I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye and stop recording before you find it, so you'll never know. Bye. Hey Sean,
what?
What's your favorite word that starts with good and ends with bye? Say goodbye.
It starts with good and ends with what?
Mm-hmm. Bye.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HS Famous Pod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.